Hi, I'm Johnny John. So we all have habit patterns. For instance, some of us may like to speak fast. Some of us like to speak slow. Some of us like particular foods. Some of us hate particular foods. Some of us like to jump to conclusions, while some of us like to analyze. So we all have different ways of doing things, of thinking. We all have different habit patterns. Today, I want to talk about habit patterns in relation to the suffering states of the mind. Because suffering can be seen as a habit pattern of always reacting in the same way when a similar situation arises again. By learning how a habit pattern is created, then we can know the ways of transforming our negative reactions, of our habit of always reacting negatively, with fear, with unhappiness. But before we carry on, let us do a quick recap on what negative ideas are. If you already are confident in knowing what negative ideas are, you can skip this section. Before we move forward, let us do a quick recap on what negative ideas are. So the seed cause for all forms of suffering states of the mind come from negative ideas. Negative ideas are ideas we have inside which promote self-rejection. These can be simplified and understood as self-declarations beginning with "it is not okay." For instance, it's not okay to fail. It is not okay to be arrogant. It's not okay to be angry. And when you become attached to negative ideas, for instance, it is not okay to fail, when this negative idea is triggered, for example, by an outer experience, when you fail or when other people fail, all levels of the self will experience it a bit differently. For instance, the physical self will experience it as negative physical sensations on the body. The mental self will experience it as negative thoughts. The emotional self as negative emotions. The totality of this experience is called suffering, and this is experienced all at once because there's no separation from within. So negative ideas are the seed cause for all your unhappiness, for your negativities, for all your fears. Now let us understand more about negative ideas in the context of life. So when we go through an experience in life, we will generate ideas about the experience. For instance, if you go to a job interview, you will be generating ideas about the interview before, during, and after. Now, if the ideas we have are negative ideas, for instance, it is not okay to fail. It is not okay to not know what's going to happen. It's not okay to be embarrassed. If we continue to react negatively to these ideas, we will experience suffering. And the stronger we react, the stronger the fear, the stronger the negativity, the stronger the suffering. So, coming back to habit patterns. Habit pattern in relation to suffering can be seen as a habit of always reacting negatively to a negative idea. This habit pattern can be seen as a wheel. Whenever you're reacting negatively to a negative idea, you're spinning the wheel in a direction. It will keep spinning this way if you keep generating the same negative reaction again and again. To stop the wheel, you have to do something opposite, which is to not react to the negative ideas, or try not to react to the negative ideas. In practice, this is about, for instance, if you encounter the negative idea, it is not okay to be stupid, and someone says something stupid and you react negatively. It is about forgiving the other person, to come out of the experience by telling yourself it is okay to be stupid. Or when you encounter it is not okay to fail situations, you have to come out of the negativity by telling yourself it is okay to fail. So it is about developing a lot of self-acceptance. That is why the key to transform our habit patterns of suffering is to develop self-acceptance. Now the energy to cancel out the wheel, which has been spinning in a direction, is the same force as it is spinning in that direction. So we have to generate a lot of force to transform the wheel of suffering if we have been reacting negatively in the same situation all our lives. So in the beginning, it won't be easy. It will be difficult. We will encounter resistance. Inner resistance. Because out of habit, our mind would want to go back to the old habit ways of thinking, old habit ways of reacting negatively to the experience. It's not simply going to be convinced that it's okay to fail. It's okay to be stupid. You're going to face a lot of inner resistance. But the more you try, what you will realize that the next time you experience the same situation, the less negative reaction you will experience. So just keep on trying, because this is how you transform the habit patterns. So to transform a habit pattern is about doing something different. In relation to transforming the habit of suffering, it is about transforming the negative ideas. It is not okay. To the potentiated ideas, it is okay. Developing stillness will help you on this journey because you will naturally react less. Developing self-knowing will help you to greatly accelerate the progress as well. Because the more you know about yourself, the more you will know why you have spun the wheel in the negative direction in the first place. With this knowing, you will be able to know how to apply your efforts in a more direct manner. So in summary, to transform a habit pattern, in particular in relation to suffering states of the mind, it is about doing something different. It is about reacting less and less. And developing stillness and self-knowing will be able to help you to accelerate your progress of self-transformation.